Dun, 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 we're live, right in the middle of a Brian Boland conversation again.
Yeah, we're continuing from last week,
Yeah.
but since I'm back, we are. I'm I'm getting in the middle of the discussion.
Yep. I was saying there aren't really Brian Boland imitators, and he thinks Glenn Fabry and Derek Robertson, right?
Yes.
But like I said, and I said when I consider someone an imitator, it's usually the style that I can, because he said he was swiping his Boland's layouts. And I was like, I don't think really people, when someone copies it, because when someone does an homage to another cover, you don't really say they're like when Alex Ross does an homage to some random cover, no one says he's imitating them because he does it in his own style.
Right.
So that's why I think Glenn Fabry's a painter. I don't know if he swipes Brian Boland's compositions, but I don't think swiping a composition is enough to say you're an imitator. But also, I was just saying too, like in looking through like my book I have on Brian Boland, because my point about Brian Boland last week too was his style, like in the Tank Girl ones I have, is really based on observation. He's got other covers that aren't really based on the observation, and I think those covers are actually weaker to me. There are some Brian Boland covers that you won't even really recognize as Brian Boland covers because it's just Batman fighting Bane or something. It looks like any other cover because there's no observation in it. There's no life observation in it. And those ones, to me, let me go get the book again. I'll show you. Hold on.
Oh. Yeah, I'm still going on Derek Robertson and maybe Steve Pugh. Nobody remembers Steve Pugh.
Here it is. Cover story: the DC art of Brian Boland.
By the way, Captain Infinity wants to teach you how to properly pronounce his name.
Boland.
Again.
I forgot. It's Boland. He taught me last week, but I forgot since then. Sorry, I've been calling him Boland for years, so it's Boland.
Missing Mars is also here, so we've got a
hello there.
A nice audience now picking up.
Where's a finished one? Like something like this Wonder Woman, I think, is based on observation. And that's one, I think, to me, this is Boland's style the most. When something's based on even this back, that's clearly referenced and based on observation. I think that's where he's strongest. But where's one? Where's that Batman one? This one's kind of in black and white, not based on observation as much. And that's kind of, that woman in the death playing chess. It doesn't do anything for me. He does have more styles in here than I thought.
Yeah, I'm trying to recognize where that one's from.
Like this Batman figure.
That doesn't look like a Boland cover.
Yeah, because it's not based on observation. It's okay.
Yeah.
But since it's not based on observation, it doesn't have that bit of style. Like, this one's based on observation. You can tell just the way the hat comes in. He referenced that. And he's so good at observing, he caught that little bit of but there's a Batman. That one's not based on observation. It's kind of duller. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it. But you might not even know this is a Brian Boland cover.
No, it doesn't look like one.
Right.
Looks more on Batman than on Batgirl.
And right next to it, once again, this one's based on observation, this Alfred.
Yeah.
You can tell it strikes you. So I would say when he when he observes more.
And Wilson is here.
Hello there, Wilson.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. Hello.
We're picking up on the conversation from last week.
Okay.
There's a Batman Catwoman one that, once again, I don't think it was his powers of observation weren't at work there, so it looks less like him to me.
Like I was saying before, there's a bit of uncanny valley in the way that he draws, as if the poses are not completely real. So I've never thought about observation being the main component of the way he lays out
I think that's the main component of that one's sort of halfway there.
Right, but that smile's not real.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's graphic design. That smile,
the way she looks at the camera is too theatrical. Of course she's a yeah she's a
there we go.
She's an artist.
That looks more observational. That male figure, at least.
But no, that's all representational. It does everything that you imagine when you think about somebody getting kicked in the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything in there is a conjunction of stereotypes, which is what makes it realistic. But if you break down all the components, they're not a real scene.
You'd never know that was him.
The first one. Oh, that's definitely
the one on
the second, the Jimmy Olsen one.
Yeah, the Jimmy Olsen one.
Yeah, that doesn't. No, but it's trying to do a Kurt Swan bit.
So I'd say peak Brian Bolland is observational. That's what I think that's what there he is painting. So that, of course, looks nothing like we think of when we think of a Bolland cover.
Right. And it is invisible, so it's supposed to look weird.
Yeah.
But that one is more. That one's Bolland through and through.
I don't even think this one has a ton of. I wouldn't know that was a Bolland cover. I don't think.
Oh no, that's definitely
because of all the airbrushing.
Mm-hmm. But the eyes, the face, because you see he draws faces without blemish, and while generally that's standard for comics because lines on a face have a meaning, it looks like you're trying to do what if a comic book had its own version of Vogue.
I would never know that was one of his either.
No, that doesn't look like no.
But yeah, like
looks more like Steve Rude.
Right. It looks like early Steve Rude when he was learning to paint. But something like this looks more like him to me. Because I think that though there's plenty going on in here, there's still quite a bit of observation and expression in that Animal Man one. All right, I'll put the book away now. After all, I got a lot of stuff here. I got a lot of stuff.
Captain Infinity says his style is kind of a mix of realistic and cartoony.
It's a lot more because I really, until I got those Tank Girls out of my garage from Jerry's pile of books, I hadn't really looked at his work in a while. And it was a lot like it more, because when I think, like before I was looking at it more closely this last week, I would think of his work as kind of realistic, but it's really and detailed, and it's really doesn't have as much detail in it, or what we perceive as detail. Like when we say detail, we usually mean a lot of lines in comic books. He is so good at picking that one line, and then he uses a simple color technique from Dark to Light on a lot of stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why he's good at doing that Kurt Swan bit on the Jimmy Olsen cover. Because if he was trying to do Marvel style, it wouldn't work. Marvel style uses Kirby references, and that one's all about the detail.
And speaking of Kirby, I saw Wilson's TikTok where he got this too.
Ooh.
Yep.
Aha.
The Man Who Dreamt the Impossible.
Yeah.
You get a chance to read yours yet?
I have not. I did read. You did see my TikTok, so I did have quite a few books. I read some of the books on the train. I did not read this one.
And how do we say Mario Freitas?
Freitas.
Freitas?
Yes.
And Lucas Pereira?
Pereira.
He is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Pereira is really good. I mean, the writer was good too. I enjoyed the writing. But having never seen this artist before, I was very impressed with the art. He did some really interesting things like this right here, where you follow the two guys walking around the panel, and it goes sort of like a spiral.
Yeah, the David Aja used to do that on his Hawkeye series, and there's a scene in Grant Morrison's Multiversity on the Watchmen pastiche that has whereas Frank Whiteley was making Captain Atom run around the whole of the double page spread, looking back at himself and looking forward at what he was going to do, as if because what Morrison does in that story is that these are the Charlton heroes, but they're the Watchmen.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was, a tribute to Jack Kirby. Have you actually read it, Paolo?
No, I couldn't go to the I couldn't go to the. It was introduced last year at the comics festival, and I didn't go to the festival because I didn't have money then. So I didn't. I still have to buy it. I can buy the Portuguese version.
Yeah. So the basic story is sort of Jack Kirby's in the old folks' home after Roz has died, and Grateful had me. Yeah, there was some good. There were some other old cartoonists in there, and it was the sort of hook in it was it's not reality kind of thing. The place he's in right there is his imagination. So the whole old folks' home is kind of in his imagination, and he's dealing with things sort of in his life that had happened in his life, and so and he's dealing with his own legacy. Kind of really well done and enjoyable. The storytelling, the art and the storytelling were really, really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So.
Yeah, a lot of Mario's books in the last few years have been about dreamscapes.
Yeah, there's very much a dreamscape aspect to it, though it wasn't a dream; it was imagination.
Yeah, and he's done that. The booklet he tried to do with AI a few years ago. The idea was that the AI was going to use the AI, which was a lot more limited 3 or 4 years ago when he made it. He used the fact that the AI doesn't draw well as a way to do the story as sort of a dream sequence. That's why you have a talking mustache.
It is very nice artwork as I was flipping through it. So it's like I am looking forward to reading that.
Yeah, Mario's good at picking up new artists, and every once in a while he finds a new one.
Yeah, I think it said this. Lucas, the illustrator and writer, born in 1993. That puts him at just over 30, and he's done other stuff too. I'll have to look some of it up. And here's the tribute page at the end to the characters who appeared in it. It tells you who they are. So there was, Martin Flask was Stan Lee, Bolt Bisley, Walt Disney, Steve Ditko, Jack King is the lead character, Jack Kirby. Bill Everett, Gene Colan, Wally Wood, and other people, but yeah, and it reads like more than 32 pages since the pages are so big. There's more than in your small,
which is good. Doesn't make you feel like you bought something expensive.
Yeah. Well, also at this size, it doesn't feel expensive. $10 for something this big feels about right.
And the story is cover to cover.
Yes.
That I found interesting too.
Yeah, because that's a mini album. Usually, an album has 44 pages of story at that size. So that one is 32. So it's a mini album.
I have to get some Treasury Edition bags. I've got an 11 by 17 print bag.
Yeah, 62 Lefty Blues thought the book was very funny.
Yeah, it was good. Nice. There's some good humor in it.
Yeah, Brizzell is here.
Hello.
The bag the comic book shop gave me is this.
Yeah, they got you an 11 by 7, an original art bag.
Original art bag. Which I'd rather use it for.
I have some lying around, but I don't have it. I don't think I have it because those are 11 by 17. I think these are 10 by 14, this Treasury Edition size.
So that bag's too big.
Yeah,
completely too big. But I definitely like to use it for artwork. But the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of tape.
Oh yeah.
Because this is not good.
Annoyingly, I got the ones with the glue on the flap. I never really liked those very much.
Those I don't mind. Because I never got my cover trapped on that.
Yeah, but much tape, better than tape.
Tape, I've done it too many times.
That Scotch tape, like I said, I've been using a little painter's tape on mine recently.
Yeah, I would rather use.
Fine.
I would rather use that. Low tack. It's easy to use. But even when I get regular comic books, when I buy back issues, I get rid of that tape.
Oh, me
right
first
away.
One.
That's the first thing I do.
And something like these Walking Deads that I've been getting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can reuse the bag. Sometimes I can't, because sometimes they use when I use like regular old Scotch tape, I use the Scotch green plaid tape that comes like in a green plaid. That's as decoration on the packaging, not the tape itself. That's like the best of the Scotch tape and the most archival. The like red Scotch tape or all its imitators are like the cheapo, you can't get it off ever tape.
Right.
And some of these like Walking Deads or whatever, right? And then they're taped down with that cheapo tape and it rips the bag as you try to get it off. Oh well. Oh well.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Those I just get rid of altogether.
You just got to get rid of the bag and the tape.
As much as I do like recycling and reusing, sometimes it's like, nah, I got to get rid of this. It's too dangerous to have around these comics.
Things Paolo doesn't have to deal with, not having single issues.
He has all different kinds of things to worry about. The tape's not one of them.
Yeah, but in this part of town, and since I have a park nearby, there are bugs, including moths.
Mm-hmm. And here's a story of how you end up paying more than you thought for something. One of the discussions we had last week, Paolo, was what single issue has been reprinted the most. And one of the candidates is The Walking Dead #1. By the way, on mycomicshop.com, there are 70 different printings of Walking Dead #1. So I decided to look at some, look at some printings of Walking Dead #1 on eBay. I was just checking it out because I was trying to figure out how many there were. And I found one by Dean Haspiel, a alternate cover by Dean. Do you know Dean Wilson?
I never met him myself, but I do know of him,
Okay.
and I do recognize the artwork.
Yeah, he's only been at Marvel a couple times over the years, but I went to college with him, so I've known him since way back when. Flo was his babysitter when he was a kid. So I was like, you know what? I collect Dean's stuff. He usually does Kickstarters now. So he's the one guy I always buy his Kickstarter, the physical copy. So I was like, oh, let me check on eBay for, Dean's cover. Because I wanted to pick one up.
Right.
So I went on eBay. I expected it to be around 10, I really had no idea how much one of these 70 and it turns out I think it was for a Comic-Con, which a lot of these Walking Dead printings are for, is that a Comic-Con will give out a Walking Dead #1 with a new cover on it. That's one of the reasons there's 70 printings on it. There's so many Comic-Con covers. So I looked at, there weren't many. I think it was the Raleigh Con. I don't know that con. Where's Raleigh again?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, right?
I think so.
Or Chris probably somewhere in that state. But turns out it was not that it was expensive, but I immediately saw like a CGC copy of it, which is what I ended up getting. Here, that's Dean's cover. It's when the people were wearing skin, I forget the name of the people. They were wearing skins on their faces. And that's a hand up there holding the head, I think.
The Whisperers, maybe?
Was that the Whisperers? Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I think what they end up calling themselves. I'm not positive. I know parts of the lore.
Wizard World Raleigh Edition. Dean Haspiel cover. Wizard World Raleigh 2015 exclusive, reprints Walking Dead #1. So it's 9 years old now. But in looking for it, a raw copy of it is about $25 all in, shipping and taxed. And this was $38 shipped and taxed. So I was like, you know what? I may as well get the objet d'art version of it.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? For an extra $13, I'll get the 9.8. Why, and I also can't fit. Is that 9.8 faded, or was it printed that way? Because it's in gray, not black. I'm just holding it upside down just to get it on the camera.
It looks like it's.
I'm like, did the number? I've never.
Just printed lightly.
It just might have printed light. You're right. I was like, do the numbers fade? Or I could just imagine you got like a 10.0 of something, and 10 years later you've got no number there.
Completely faded away. That would be amazing. The only saving grace is that, the barcode number.
Yeah,
will still list it. So again, that is a plus towards CGC. And the only reason why I think it is because it doesn't look like anything else is faded on that.
So nothing else is faded. It's all black.
Yeah, it might have been
must have just printed in gray. You're correct, Wilson. It's the Whisperers.
Oh, okay.
62 Lefty Blues title.
Infinity says, I give that 9.8 sticker 7.3 for print quality.
There you go. That's like what kills me too is CGC books go for less money if there's a scratch in the case. It's
really?
like, yes, the condition of the case. Amazing. Because people don't want a scratch in their case. And you could send it back to CGC to get it recased, but that cost money.
Right.
So it's like I always found that crazy, which is why I hate these bags. They have bags for the cases. So that you don't scratch your case. I hate these bags. They just make it from an object of art into this crappy plastic thing. So I don't usually keep the bags, but I don't keep them in the bags if I want to, because I don't like pulling them out of the bags. I don't like looking at them in the bag.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to quote Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. That just went full retard.
So, do you have a short box just for your CGC comics yet?
Yeah, I
or
bought.
are you hanging up your CGC comics?
I usually take one out and put one up in one spot, but I do have a short box specially made for that's foldable. I got like a foldable one somehow. It's weird. It's this black vinyl fold bag that folds up that I bought one day on a whim off of Amazon. But they sent me I should have returned it, but I didn't really care. It's a short box, and with it came Velcro dividers, which is basically just like pieces of like vinyl fabric covered like cardboard with Velcro flaps on it, so you could put them in the short box and it would Velcro to the side, so you can make dividers among your CGC books. Except the dividers they sent me were there's only two of them, were for a magazine box.
Oh, okay.
So they don't actually fit in the box. I was just like, oh, so annoyed. But it'd been too much trouble to return them.
To return it, yeah.
I was like, I won't use the dividers. I don't care. But here's another strange thing about this. When I got it, it came in this box. Golden Opportunity graded comic 2023 series, and this is from, where are they? Hit Parade Collectibles. So this box is specifically made to mail CGC books in, and I went to the website Hit Parade Hit Parade Collection. And I think, from what I can tell, they do sports cards and comic books, and they're a repackager. But there's some
balloons.
But they only sell blind boxes, as far as I can tell. And a lot of them are like autographed blind boxes. They've got for $169. I think it was. It was either $160 or $170. I can't remember. I don't even know what shipping was on them. You could buy an autographed blind box. So you don't even know who's being ordered. You're spending $160 on. I was like, who's buying this? And then they had like a 10-pack of blind boxes for $1,600. You didn't even get a discount. It was just multiplied by 10. And I was like, who in their right mind is spending $160 or $1,600 on 10 blind boxes where they don't even know what they're going to get?
Streamers who's using that as content.
I have seen that.
That's
yeah, it's just like
the only thing I can think of, because the problem that I have with these blind bags, because I see them a lot. NECA, as the toy company, does occasionally have blind bags that you could get at like Target or so.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it's $100 worth of items that you're paying $40 for, or whatever the price is.
They didn't even do that.
Yeah. So it's like, so you don't know what you're going to get. The few times that I've got them and I've seen other people get them, it usually ends up being the stock they couldn't sell anywhere else. Right. And so they shove them in these bags and sends them out. So yes, I understand the mysteriousness of it. There's an allure there, because I bought blind bags from comic book shops.
Right.
where you buy and it's like, there's 25 books. You don't know what you're going to get. One of
But
them
it's
is
usually like
supposed to be a hot
$5.
book. Right. But they could be anywhere from $5 to 20. It
And
really depends on what it is.
and I have seen the one like people opening them, but they're usually I've seen some spend $200 on, but there's usually like a prize book somewhere. They're like, oh, I made 50 of these, and there's a 5.5 Hulk 181 in one of them.
Right.
And they're like, you pay $200 for it, but we guarantee you there's $250 worth of books in there. And of course, that's always a little iffy. But
Yeah.
most of the people who I've seen open up are like, all right, that's 200. I'm not. They're like skeptical that they'd be able to sell it at $250, but that's at least book value. These
Right.
are like the ones like here are like $160, and at one point, I think it was on the 10-pack. It said like the ceiling for what a single CG seed was worth, I guess. And it was like the ceiling is $750 and the floor is $36 or something like that. And I gotta say, I mean, if this person like this isn't even an autographed one, to spend $160 to get a $40 slab, it's just like gotta be disappointing.
Yes, I would imagine that. So if you don't know what it is, there are some people that's willing for that thrill of the hunt.
Well, but I don't even at $160, I don't even see the thrill of a hunt.
Yeah.
If you got $160 on eBay to buy a 9.8 slab, you got a wide variety of choices.
Yes.
I mean you're not going to get Hulk 181, but you could probably get some good stuff. So it's just crazy to me that seeing that, like, to spend $1,600 on 10 slabs. Whoa. I don't get that one, but I guess they're in business. At least in 2023 Series 1. But they had a lot of sports cards. They had more sports cards than comics.
Right.
Hit Parade, Golden Opportunity. Like, I wonder if there was like a prize for this one. Like, this product is not affiliated, sponsored, endorsed, or licensed by or connected to Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Image Comics, or IDW Publishing.
Yeah, so if you don't like the stuff that's there, you cannot call those particular companies.
Do not call Marvel Comics. But I find that real. Hey, it got me this nice 9.8 slab for $38. So what the heck?
Yeah. There's the bottom ring. You said $38.
Yeah. I did 36, but
36. Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
And they sold this for 20 plus tax and shipping. And I got myself a nice Dean Haspiel cover for my Dean Haspiel and Walking Dead collection.
Now, when you were searching these #1 covers, these reprints, was there anything that actually surprised you? Like, oh, I didn't know one was done by XYZ artist.
Just the Dean one. I mean, there's so many people who do them.
Yeah.
That there was nothing really that surprised me. And there's so many nice alternate covers now, especially with Walking Dead Weekly. Like I said, you could spend the rest of your life collecting versions of Walking Dead. I mean, it is nuts how many different printings and just alternate cover. Like, there's one alternate cover I might get somewhere around I think it's issues like 157 to 163, if memory serves. That Art Adams did 6 connecting covers, pardon me.
Oh, nice.
And I just always I should have bought them at the time, but But it's like you can get them right now, all 6 for like $20 plus shipping and tax. So it's not like they're expensive. So I might get them someday. I just haven't. But there are just so many. There's lots of, like, I don't even remember who the artist was. Somebody I never heard of before. But he had like 4 connecting covers on like, I think it was Walking Dead Weekly. And I was just like, wow, that really catches my eye. I did buy one alternate cover to Walking the Dead, another one, not slabbed. This one kept catching my eye every time I saw it. This is a Frank Quitely alternate cover to Walking Dead 100. And I just find this one super creepy. I mean, look at those teeth.
It is very creepy, but it looks familiar for some reason.
Super creepy.
I wonder if that's a cover to something else at one point. Like,
yeah, I don't know. This is Walking Dead 100. There was like 10 covers to this. But
she only has incisors.
Yeah. It's just super creepy. I had this facing outward, and I had to put it behind something else. I was just like,
see, that almost doesn't look like a Frank Quitely cover.
No, because of the teeth
and the coloring,
and the pattern in the all the little lines in the face look more like Quitely, but he doesn't often do that many little lines.
No, the lines are supposed to be representational. I mean, in that case, they're just creepy, so they cross the uncanny valley.
They're creepy lines. Like and the eyes are all yellow and little tiny dots in there. But like I said, this one, matter of fact, I bought it. I bought this one because I also another thing I do every now when I'm looking on eBay. One of my favorite books is Uber. Once again, there's a million alternate covers to Uber. That's the one that's the Kieran Gillen wrote. That is about World War II and superheroes being invented at the end of World War II. Have you ever had a mother-in-law, Wilson? That looks exactly like that cover.
No, I have not. Thank you, 62 Lefty Blues. But I know what to look out for.
So I always look for Uber alternate covers, but I never buy them because what do I need all those freaking? I'm always like, oh, I should collect all the Uber alternate covers. Wouldn't that be fun? Then I go, why?
Yeah. I've done that so many times. Because they'll pop into your head. This would be neat to do.
This would be neat to collect.
Yeah. And then you realize, what am I doing? Especially once you find the prices, you realize, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. And there are people who collect that way.
Yeah.
People who don't read their comics. That's how they collect. They're like, oh, I should collect all these. I should collect all. And they do. And they're perfectly happy doing it. But I'm like, being that I like to read my comics, collecting like that is only for something on occasion. But the reason I bought this was because looking for the Ubers, I realized there was an Uber Zero that I never got. Kane and White is the artist on this one. Kieran Gillen is there's one of the, and it's in this they chose not to use Nazi graphics, but use the Iron Cross instead. So I could tell they did that. That's why the Iron Cross is on the. So they obviously made a conscious decision. They just didn't want to use, which I'm okay with, Nazi graphics in their entire comic.
That almost looks like a 90s independent action comic.
It does. There's very much a lot of the Avatar has that look. I noticed there's sort of the artists are good. They're usually kind of illustrative, but they're not top of the food chain good. They're a notch below.
Yeah, you notice
White, he's good.
You notice Avatar is a company that does have a house style.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny considering they don't put out that many comics, but they're not supposed to. They are kind of all in, if not the same genre, at least in a overlapping subject matter genre.
There's a bit of horror, even though this one is superhero. There's a lot of horror to it.
Yeah. So you do end up with a house style, even if it's unconscious.
Yeah, over the top gore is kind of the house style a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I discovered that, and Once again, I discovered this because you can get a CGC 9.8 of this for $20 plus shipping, which means around $40. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that because I've never read it. And the price on this was it tells you how much shipping and tax is. The price on this was $2. The price on this was, what was it? $4, $5. But altogether, just split in half, they were $6.75 a piece, which isn't too bad. Which is I found this one first, and the guy was like, I combined shipping. So I was like, well, let me see if there's anything else I want just for the heck of it, because I'm paying, what was the shipping on it? $5.45 for shipping anyway. Right. So I found, this one was another $5. So I'm like, you know what? That one's been catching my eye so many times. I'll get that one. So I ended up with those, another Walking Dead and alternate. Alternate cover. But that doesn't mean I'm going to buying tons of, except for maybe those Art Adam ones. We'll see. I still have to finish my Walking Dead. That reminds me too. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago me mentioning that I missed out on an auction of Walking Dead 5, 6, 7, and 8 that could have filled in a bunch of stuff I wanted, but it was cheap because I think it was by a new seller. Right. He only had like 5 feedback, but it seemed cheap, and it was kind of like, I think the opening bid was $150, which is actually cheap for those 4 books. Right. They seem to be in good shape. And I went, I'll put a bid on it tomorrow. But then tomorrow was like my first day of class. So I got home and was exhausted and completely forgot about it. And then I was, and then the next day I was like, I missed it. And I looked at it and it looked like no one bid on it. Remember I said that? I was like, it looked like no one bid on it to me. So like for the next 2 weeks, I kept checking on it to see if it was reposted. I kept checking on that, guys, till I finally, I guess I stopped checking. And then I just noticed that last Friday, they were up again and went for $150. I went, I missed it a second time and someone bought it. Like I said, he must have been a news, because eBay never gave me a message that these have been relisted. Right. So being that he was a new seller, he might not have even hit the relist button and like relisted them manually. But I was like, yeah. Oh, well, missed out on those a second time.
Yeah, the Goblin has a bad opinion of the slab. Yeah, it's a fad, but it's not dying.
It's not a fad. I think the slab serves a very important purpose. It stops people from arguing about a grid. You get into these. I mean, for me, I don't care one way. To me, they're conversation pieces. They're objects of art now. Right. But for somebody buying a $10,000 book, when you say it's in 9.4 and I say it's in 9.2, and the difference between those two is $4,000, it makes it really hard to sell stuff. Mm-hmm. So a third party saying, here it is, it's a 9.2, it's in this slab, really helps those people on the high end buy and sell books. Us people on the low end, who cares?
The thing is, given the purpose of the slabbing, if the comic is worth less than $10 or $20, or if it's under 25 years, there's no point in slabbing it, because any high value that it attains at the moment, it's because it's popular at the moment, and during the next 20 to 25 years, it will become worthless as an object art.
I would say, like, but I say that like the slab has a really good purpose on the high end. On the low end, I've mentioned this before, it's kind of become a craft project for people. It's, let me find a 9.8 of this either hot new issue or issue that I like. Let me find this 9.8, send it in. Ooh, it comes back. It comes back. Ooh, I was right. It's a 9.8. Ooh, this person is going to be signing it at this con. Let me bring it there. CGC's there. They can unslab it, have them. It's more like a craft project for them.
Comic collectors and comic readers is a Venn diagram with a small overlap.
Yeah.
But the worst part is that the first one gets all the press.
Mm-hmm. I would say comic readers and comic collectors are on a spectrum. On this end is comic readers, and the ultimate comic reader reads his comic and then tosses it aside. He pays no more attention to it.
Yeah.
The ultimate comic collector buys his comic, never reads it, puts it in plastic, and tucks it away. And we all fall somewhere in there, and we all don't have to be in the same place all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like some comic readers like me keep our comics, so we kind of become collectors by default. But I read all my comics, but occasionally I will buy something like this. This is purely comic collector. Comic collectors, comic readers buy the comic because they want to read it. Comic collectors buy the comic because they want to own it. And why they want to own it has a lot of reasons.
Captain Infinity, if you use Amazing Spider-Man 252 as a coaster, what do you use number 300 for? Slabbing turns your comic into a giant baseball card, but you can still read the stats on the baseball card, and you can't read page 14 inside the comic.
To me, when you slab your comic, it's an object of art or a conversation piece. That's what it is now. Oh, take a look at this. I got this Dean. I would have if this were $10 for an unslabbed one, I would have bought it. But it was $25 for an unslabbed one and $38 for a slabbed one. So for an extra $13, I'll buy the object of art conversation piece. That's all this was. If I could have got it for $10, I wouldn't have got a slabbed one. But they would both be me collecting it the same. Both would be me just collecting it for the Dean Haspiel cover. There'd be like no different. The only difference was like the amount of money I spent. I wanted to own it. I've already read Walking Dead #1, so I didn't want to read it. So
right.
That's sort of the example of me just wanting to own something.
Yeah, I could completely understand that.
Yeah.
When I was trying to buy all the Amazing Spider-Man books, occasionally the slab ones would pop up, and there's always been like, I could get that. It's protected. I own a couple of them, so it's not too bad. I like, because again, it's Silver Age artwork, so the covers look great as art, putting them up.
Yeah.
And they are books that have been reprinted so many times that I can read. If I want to read a Silver Age book, chances are instead of grabbing the actual book, I'll grab the masterworks of it, kind of thing, just to read that particular story. So I am, it took 20 years, but I am slowly going, okay, slab books has its place.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
And
I'll still joke about it and make fun of it.
Right.
But,
me too.
Again.
Me too.
But I understand it.
To me, the part of it protecting the comic is kind of overrated because we all know how to protect comics without putting it in a slab. The only part where I think it protects the comic is because if you have a valuable comic, most people know not to take it out of the bag, but there'll always be that one guy who's like, can I open it?
Right.
And you got to tell him no. You cannot open my $10,000 comic. Not that I have a $10,000 comic, but if I did, I wouldn't want anyone opening it. So that puts that to rest. Nobody's going to want to look through your Fantastic Four #1, or nobody can look through your Fantastic Four #1 if it's in a slab. I mean, neither can you, but like you said, it's always in a reprint.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could get that 1994, that 1994 reprint of Marvel Comics #1.
There you go. I think I have that somewhere. It's my reprint box. It must be.
Hmm.
Did that have an acetate cover on it?
Yes.
Okay, I do have that one then. Dino.
I mean,
saw.
there's a thing about Marvel Comics. We should analyze it one of these days because because I want to
Okay.
go through all the strips and figure out if the Submariner and Human Torch are actually better than the other ones, or if it's just because those are more familiar. Because there are characters there that did not survive to the current day.
That sounds like something we can do.
Okay.
Marvel Comics #1.
Dig up mine. I think I do have the one with the acetate somewhere.
Yeah, I do have a bunch of those stories in the golden age of Marvel trade paperbacks. Because they first did one, and then 10 years later they did a second one. But the first one is better because not all of the stories are origin stories. And the first one does have Yellow Claw and Black Knight stories in them. And the second one is only 40 superheroes. It does have the Finn, which had like two. The Finn had like 2 stories.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yes.
Yeah.
What I was reading something, or maybe I was watching something on YouTube about the Finn that he was brought in, and I think the 2 books they were 2 different people. Were the Finn. So I don't even think it was the
No,
continuing story.
that's Marvel Boy. That's Marvel Boy.
Oh, is it Marvel Boy?
Because there were
Okay.
before the Marvel Boy of the 50s, there were 2 different Marvel Boys,
Right.
and each had only one story.
It might have been the same YouTuber who did one on the Finn and then Marvel Boy. I tend to, if I watch one, I tend to watch the rest of them right afterwards, type
Because
of thing.
the Finn was another ocean-based hero, and coincidentally was also created by Bill Everett.
Right.
I would hope he was an ocean-based hero rather than a Finnish-based hero.
But you never know. There might be one
You
of
never
those
know.
out there. Yep. Let me grab the books that I picked up. Speaking of covers, did you see how many covers this Deadpool Batman had?
No, I didn't.
So I got my book at Midtown Comics. So here it is, Deadpool Batman, first of the crossovers of DC and Marvel. They haven't done that in many of years.
Yeah, since
So
the mid-90s.
so I went. So one the comic book shop said one per customer,
Right.
and so I'm looking. Okay, which cover I'm going to pick because there are also a few stories in here. So it's not just Batman, Deadpool. There's a Wonder Woman, Captain America story, a Daredevil, Green Arrow story. There's a Green Lantern story. There's a Lobo story. There's a bunch of different stories in here, and it seems like they gave covers to every single one of them. So when I looked, I believe I counted, but I didn't write it down. I think there were over or close to 20 variation covers, if not more or less, where you just look at it and it's just all these covers. So Batman and Deadpool was like the main one because that's the main story. That's the
Right.
title of the book, and then it just goes off from it. So there's a Ben Grimm fighting Big Bertha. There's 2 Jack Kirby characters. Technically, Jack Kirby versus Roz. If you
Yeah, there you
really
go.
deeply go into it. They have Jeff the Shark and Crypto was another
Mhm.
cover, very cutesy. Captain America, Steve Rogers. I forget who draws that one. Um, and it just went on and on. And it's like this is amazing. And as a collector, part of you is like, wow, that would be neat. But there is
Wouldn't
no
it be
way
neat to collect all these covers?
it
Then you
would
go,
be.
what?
It would be neat, but at $6.99 a pop,
Oh,
no. No, and again, it's one of those things. It's like I cannot, and I cannot at this point discourage multiple covers. I cannot stop that. That started.
No, I don't.
We
I don't care
voiced
about multiple covers.
we voiced our opinions.
Woo.
71.
71. Wow. I
Batman.
counted at least 20 when I was at the shop, and I was like, and again, I didn't even look for them all because
Did they
amazing.
blind bag it? Hello.
I didn't, not that I was aware of.
Okay.
They might have been one up there in a blind bag, and I wasn't sure if it was part of that group or another.
By the
So
way,
I looked and walked away.
By the way, prices are so out of control that
Yes.
you said $6.99, and my brain went, "Oh, that's not too bad."
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think Batman Deadpool is going to become the new. It's definitely not going to become the new X-Men #1.
No, there is, in order to be the next X-Men #1, a #1 book would have to sell in the millions,
Yeah.
and that one only had 5 covers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe?
1, 2, 3, 4, and then one with all 4, right?
Right.
The gatefold.
Yes, I believe that was it. They might have had 2 or 3 extra ones that might have been like comic shop no, I'm thinking of Spider-Man. That one had a platinum version of
Right.
because the shop sold X amount of them. So I don't see Batman Deadpool being that. I don't know if Marvel and DC could pull in those numbers.
Right.
Not the way books are at the moment.
That
So
just reminded me. Oh, and 62 said no blind bag, so
okay, so there was no blind
no
bag.
blind bag.
So
That just you mentioned Spider-Man right there, and just flashed me back to Spider-Man 600, I think it was. Must be a decade ago now.
right.
That was the one that was like a 64-page book, but it was saddle stitched. So it had, the staple in it, which meant that was so much paper. I remember noting this at the time, that the top and bottom of the spine burst, unlike all
Yeah,
the
they
top.
split. Hmm.
They split. And I always wanted to, I'll have to remember, I always wanted to look up how CGC graded that. Would that just be a production thing? No one would care that, or would none of them be 9.8s?
Right.
Next month they will do a second version for DC, right? Yeah, I think so.
Probably, or there'll be whatever DC's printing stories are going to be.
They should try doing all of the chip gimmicks line of variants. The silver foil, the gold foil, the aluminum foil, the embossed, and the window cover.
There was a Scott Koblish cover this week.
Oh, was there?
You probably wouldn't have noticed it. Marvel Zombies #1, and it was in a bag.
Oh,
no,
no
Marvel
Chris
Red Band.
No Chris Girusso cover. I pass.
No Chris Girusso.
I didn't even see that book up there. I didn't know Scott was doing it, but I do enjoy zombie stories.
And this one is, I think they call it like a throwback cover or something.
Right.
It looks like it's an old issue that's all got, you can see all the folds and color breaking and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it looks like not Brand.
Yeah, it does have enough. I thought Daredevil was giving the finger there for a moment.
That would have been amazing.
Guest star Thor. This is the first Marvel Red Band I've bought, explicit, and it's Avatar light. Paolo will not like the continuity in it. That's what I was thinking as I was reading it, because it takes the Fantastic Four go up into space, to the origin of the Fantastic Four, and they come back down as zombies. But it's also, Spider-Man's already there. The Avengers, so all those, it's as if, the first 2 years of Marvel took place in that 1 month of Fantastic Four kind of thing, because all the superheroes are there. fighting the Fantastic Four, who are turning everyone into zombies. So we get, golden armored Iron Man. We get Thor. We get Daredevil in his yellow costume. And here's another thing Paolo won't like. We get Sue Storm with force fields.
Uh-huh.
So, and then the Silver Surfer shows up at the end.
And Jean Grey with telepathy?
No, we don't have any of the X-Men. They want to see that again. I don't think we've had any X-Men so far.
Maybe they were all eaten by the Thing.
Yeah. And though I did like the Thing yelling, "It's slobber in time."
Amazing.
Okay, does Irving Forbush appear?
He does not appear. No Irving Forbush yet. Oh, and they call themselves the Frightful Four, by the way. And the guys fighting them, the Hulk, Thor, Daredevil, call themselves the Defenders.
There'll be 2 Liefeld covers. This will be an X-Force number 1 all over again.
But it was a pretty good. Let me see who did the action. It was a solid, 2 writers, Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan. The artist is Jan Basil Dua. I can barely read this old English font. The color artist is Eric Arceniga. And VC's Travis Lanham is the letterer. Did it give us the? Oh, there's a whole bunch of cover artists. This is Scott Koblish and Val Staples. Koblish, 1961. It's signed.
Yeah, then Finney says he would pay Brian Bolland to draw him a cover.
It's Brian Bolland. What are you doing?
Yeah, and that's kind of how it works. In order to get a cover done, you would need to pay an artist to do that.
But
yes,
he's been all digital since the late 90s.
Has he?
Yeah. I remember reading an article about that, and art dealers consider him a dead artist.
Okay.
Because there hasn't been any new art coming out of him, physical art, since the late 90s.
I know
he
Michael
does everything
Golden
in Photoshop. I knew. I don't know if he changed.
I think Michael Golden has went full digital on art for the covers, but he still does traditional art because he goes to cons.
He does he does prelim sketches and things.
Yes.
I paid chicken. He didn't pay him until he was done. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Some artists need that payment to motivate them, and they know it. I don't know if Chaikin's one of those guys.
Those are the same 2 guys that did Godzilla, the Dead Zone, and blink and you'll miss it. What?
Okay. You've got a Godzilla this week, right, Wilson?
Yes, I did. I got Godzilla Escape from the Dead Zone.
Hey, that's what he just mentioned.
So
here just
the cover.
Same creative team on Marvel Zombies.
So Godzilla the Dead Zone. I did actually read this on the train. I wasn't overly lost, mainly because it's like, I didn't read the first issue, but it starts off with this man, and I'm guessing.
Yeah, there we go. Ethan Parker,
Griffin Sheridan.
Yep. Different artist though, right? Because the artist is Jan Basil Dua, so same writers as
okay.
Marvel Zombies.
So this guy breaks up with his wife, and he gets approached on the street, and he's pretty much being asked, would you like to join the new religion that they have in this world? And it's basically, here, let me give you a pamphlet, and let's talk about the Church of Godzilla. And then the main character here runs in and saves these 2 kids he himself, I guess, is a mutant because he has a tail, and I guess this is the guy that was on the cover of the first issue, and so they're dealing with monsters out in this land. So I'm thinking this is a planet that's been overrun by monsters and mutants, and they get captured by this church of Godzilla people, and they themselves have some sort of power. So it's very interesting to read. I really do like the artwork, and the main character who we're following turns into a Godzilla type of monster. So he has the dorsal fins, he has a tail, and it looks like when he turns into a monster, he's not like a full thinking animal. So very similar to the Hulk. So it's interesting. I don't know if Godzilla has been introduced yet, so I definitely have to go back to read the first issue. But I am enjoying this because it's a futuristic story or an alternate universe type thing where there are monsters all over the place, and it kind of makes sense that, if you have giant irradiated monsters running around, the area they're running around in is probably not going to be a good area. So I found
not.
this to be quite well done. Artwork is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to this. So far, this has been fun of this, Godzilla series.
What's the name of it again?
It is Godzilla Escape the Dead Zone.
I remember issue 1 having a nice cover that I liked.
Yeah, that was one of the other reasons why I got it, because it just had such an interesting cover that you're not too sure what was going on. And this cover is nice because one of the leaders, the cult leaders, is wearing Mothra's kind of colors on her.
Wow.
So, and there's no mention of Mothra yet, so it's a nice subtle image where it's like there's more to it than what we know. So I enjoy this. I like how IDW has been given the license to really try things with the Godzilla lore and then just run with it. So I've been enjoying that a lot.
Let me show you something I got last week that I think I forgot to show. A little bit of an oddball thing. An issue of Mad Magazine.
Really?
Cost me $7.40 in total. January's 1975. And the reason I got it, because I happened to run across this.
Very nice.
There's a Great Gatsby satire in it. So I was like, oh, I'll pick that up. Art Drucker and Stan Hart. And like I said, it was only $7.40. So I haven't read it yet. But I got this last week and I think forgot to show it. Not the greatest cover of all time.
Yeah, it's kind of a bland cover.
We have Chris.
Chris Giarusso, welcome.
Hey guys. Russos, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How are you?
Doing all right.
What did I miss? You're in the middle of something. Don't let me interrupt.
I was just showing an old issue of Mad Magazine that I got. Just finished. Because it has a Great Gatsby parody in it. The Great Gas Bag.
It's like I haven't missed a thing.
Speaking of Gatsby, Robert Redford passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was, and that's probably a play on
that is his movie. 75. So
yeah,
it's a parody of the movie Robert Redford starred in. So you can sell this issue for double now.
Oh, there you go. Now it's a key issue.
Craft Infinity wants to know how was Mort Drucker at rendering chains. Dynamite. Mort Drucker was great at rendering everything. No shortcuts for Mort.
Not at all. He put all those details in there.
Yeah, no graphic design chains for Mort Drucker.
How could he possibly come up with a shortcut before Todd McFarlane found it?
Chris immediately dives in to an argument. He doesn't even care. He's just going to it.
Todd McFarlane invented the shortcut.
What
Before
Drucker
the shortcut,
invented
they needed to head you off at the pass.
Dun, dun, dun.
The next book.
I got a whole bunch of first issues this week.
Did you?
Yeah, well, all your series are
Right.
ending, so you need to come up with some new
I
ones.
need to come up with some new one. I here's one I got. Voyeur. And you know what? I didn't even notice till I went to read it that there's a guy underneath the pier. I'm telling you, I saw this cover in the thumbnail. I picked this one at what I want. I picked it up at the comic shop. I did my whole video on it, of what I got this week, and I never noticed that guy.
That seagull is subbing for the Flamingos.
Yeah, there we go. Some decent artwork in here by David Baldione. Uh-oh, there's an accent over the O.
Of course there is. Baldeon.
Baldeon.
It stresses the O.
Yep. Means you pronounce it, because in English we wouldn't pronounce it. We'd make that one syllable. It turns out this Ignition Press is a new creator-owned imprint. I bought, what did I buy last week? Murder Podcast. And I bought it because of the Jeremy Juan cover and writing. But it turns out, it says in here that, where is it? Meet the, was that the beginning or the end?
Captain Finity says she's not wearing high heel shoes. Disgusting.
There we go. This is by James S. Rich, is the editor-in-chief of Ignition Press. He got together with Jeremy Juan and Philippe Sablik and decided they were going to make their own creator-owned imprint. He's like, why? Because we wanted to. So, and here's complete evidence that, do you remember after Saga came out and everybody was buying issue number 1s of Image stuff? As you know, as the next big thing. And then if something was being made into a TV show, they'd be buying it all up as the next big thing.
Yes. That
does not happen anymore. There's a Revival TV show out right now. No one cares about the comic book. And there, I can, from reading here, what's about to come out is a TV show of The Beauty, which is another book Jeremy Juan was involved in a few years ago. And no one cares. I have heard no one mention it anywhere that there's a new TV show based on a comic book. So it's like those days of TV shows driving up the prices of comic books are long gone. Since the original Walking Dead, even before it ended, no one cared anymore. But there's about to be a Beauty TV. I watched episode 1 of Revival. It was okay. So what are you working on tonight, Chris?
I got a convention tomorrow.
Ah.
And I posted.
Where is it?
It's here in Greensboro.
Okay.
The Greensboro Comic-Con.
Is the Raleigh convention near you?
It's in Raleigh.
How far away is Raleigh?
It's near me.
Half an hour away? An hour away?
About an hour.
About an hour. I mentioned that because one of the things I got this week is a Dean Haspiel covered Walking Dead #1. Which I never knew existed till last week, and I wanted to get it because I'm friends with Dean and like to collect his work. But this is from the 2015 Wizard World Raleigh convention. That's another thing we were discussing. Just how many reprints of Walking Dead #1 there are.
27.
70, according to there are 70 listed on mycomicshop.com.
I just wanted to see if you'd believe me if I answered confidently.
I was
I didn't know you already knew the answer.
That's what I guessed. Somewhere right around 30, I think, is what I guessed last week. I would not have guessed 71.
I knew the only thing I knew for certain was that I was wrong.
And you would answer confidently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence is key. I keep getting emails with no subject and a random attachment on them. Like, I think I'm just going to delete those.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stuff gets through the spam filter these days, but it definitely seems like a spam filter should catch those.
And it's funny is like I still got to check the spam stuff because sometimes legitimate emails will go there.
Occasionally that happens.
Yeah, I found one today from Comic Craft because I had some questions about some older fonts that I have that no longer works because Adobe decided to be Adobe.
Oh, okay.
And some of my older fonts, it's like, it's like, oh, we'll replace your font as long as you send us your receipt. Some of these fonts I bought back in 2005, it's like, even their own website only goes back to 2012.
Yeah.
So it's like some stuff I can look up, and then other things it's like, no, I legitimately bought this because I know I bought it because I hate paying for it. So I know which ones I bought.
You can get a little piece of shareware that converts the fonts. I'll have to find out the name for you.
Yeah, I've used a few of them I found online.
Okay.
But I don't like them totally because sometimes it doesn't really change. It sometimes does something to the font in that changeover as well. So I haven't found one that I enjoy.
I only did it with one font, so.
And then some of them popped up and it's like, oh, this is available through Adobe. And it's like, mine was working fine. Why do you have a copy of that same font and you want me to use yours? It's just annoying kind of a thing.
I actually, if I had bought that in 2005, if the receipt was digital, I might still have it because I put all stuff like that into, I archive my emails in different folders.
I've done that as well, but I've run into a few problems with some archive stuff. So it's on the archive on the drive that my computer doesn't really access anymore because the computer is now newer, so to speak, than whatever Time Machine has archived it with.
Oh no, not Time Machine. All I do is
I've done it that way.
I have like how you have your mailbox that comes in.
Right.
I make other, like, I have a mailbox that says Chris Geruso on it. And if I get an email from Chris Geruso, I don't delete it. I just move it over to the Chris Geruso mailbox when I'm done with it.
Right. I used to have that as well, but I've had at least over the years, at least 2 catastrophic failures on the computer where I lost all those files. And then there was an external drive that I had tons of files in, and then that once got fried when I plugged it in one day. Plugged in the power to it, and it just and it's like, well, now I have a paperweight.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky that, and I'm knocking on wood, that the few times things got messed up, I didn't lose too much. And every once in a while, I'll go looking for something and realize, oh, I don't have that. That must have got damaged at that point in time. But it wasn't a big deal. So I think most of the stuff that I've lost was some music from way back when we started with the iPod type stuff. So I've lost that on one of my laptops, and then old emails, because I used to keep as much as the old emails, especially
Right.
when it consists of freelance stuff. I always kept everything in like
Yeah.
in those smart folders that, okay, once this email is no longer active, it goes into the freelance folder for this company, that type of stuff.
Donald Rex picked up a couple of groovy Don Newton Charltons today. I didn't know Don Newton did painted covers.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That also just reminds me, I didn't know about Charlton. I'm still reading that Tom Scioli, Jack Kirby biography.
Mm-hmm.
And I either didn't know or forgot that Charlton bought the Simon and Kirby publishing stuff after they started their own publishing thing and then closed it down. Charlton bought their intellectual property. I don't know if they ever did anything with it. I don't remember what the intellectual property was. I have to go look at the book again. But yeah, they said Charlton bought it.
Yeah, because Blue Beetle was Victor Fox before it became Charlton.
Now, this was do you remember the time in the 50s where Kirby and Simon started their own?
Oh, yeah. Charlton bought the romance comics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they also had like Boys Ranch. They had their own Western stuff, Target.
Right. Charlton
things
bought
like that.
Whatever was there. Mm-hmm. But you know how you're reading something, a biography or whatever, and you're reading it, and then you read something in it that you know is wrong, and it makes you go, huh, how much of this is wrong?
Right.
Because they have Joe Maneely dying here. He does, Tom Scioli. I think he said he has Joe Maneely dying, but I think he said he jumped in front of a subway train. And Joe Maneely did not jump in front of any subway train. Mm-hmm. He fell off a New Jersey Transit train. Not even in the same state.
Right.
They're not even sure what happened to him. They think he went. You know how they tell you not to ride between cars? That's because of Joe Maneely. He's one of the people who was riding between cars. They think he went out for a smoke and just fell off the train somehow and died. But I think they said in the book, I think he even said he jumped in front of a subway. I have to look now. Hold on a second.
This story changes by the minute.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I heard the story while I was working at Marvel. I think it was Tom Brevoort who was telling me about him and how he had passed. And it was, as Jared said, he fell between the cars. So he may have been crossing from one car to another, or as Jared mentioned, he might have been gone out for a smoke.
Donald Rex says Charlton bought Warfront.
Let's see, where is it? There's one panel in here with a subway train.
Oh, I guess Tom Scioli didn't know.
But my mother even looked up Joe Maneely's obituary, and it said the town where he died in.
Right.
The stop.
Because the whatever newspaper reported on Joe Maneely dying is not on newspapers.com. Because I looked for it.
Where is Stan Lee moving the furniture out?
Donald Rex says John Severin told him that Maneely died, as you said, because Joe drank a lot.
Yeah, he was coming home from a party. Definitely. A prude. They said, me and Joe had to shut it all down. We sold the company to a down and dirty outfit in Connecticut called Charlton Comics. I don't think Jack Kirby did not like Charlton Comics. There was even one point he was like, he's like, everything's going to hell. I mean, he's like, but I do not want to work for those guys in Connecticut.
Considering that they met in jail.
Yeah. They were probably shady. Where is it? Oh, there's them making the strip.
Yeah, even his wiki entry says that he fell off, that he didn't jump. There's nothing there to indicate he jumped in front of it.
Oh, here it is. It says, no, not jumped. That's why I wanted to make sure I got it. I got word that Joe had died the night before. He was out late with John Severin and fell in front of a subway car. I was devastated. But it was not a subway car. It was Jersey Transit. And he didn't fall in front of it. He fell off of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And Tit Goblin was looking for it. He found it on page 104.
He got it. Page 104. He's right. He found it just as I did. And he made a nice little drawing. But that makes you go, what else is wrong in here? I wonder.
What else is very, very slightly wrong with this?
Yeah, but you never know. That's a simple thing to find out, though. That's on, like you said, it's on his wiki page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every day I wake up think, man, I really need to get started on that book about the that I want to write on the period between the Atlas implosion and Cadence buying Marvel, and just so I can tear down all of the official history and urban legend bits that everybody keeps repeating about the golf game and the throwing out the furniture, and Stan decided to write the way he wanted. Get rid of all that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think we discussed this before. The moving out the furniture thing, I can actually believe.
Having seen furniture move rapidly through the halls when we were
having worked in the Marvel bullpen when there was furniture stacked up everywhere because they were in bankruptcy, and seeing freelancers' faces as they come in and say, "What's going on?" And to us, it was just normal. There was just always furniture. I paid no attention to it. So I can see how, like, what's his name? Goodman was shutting down a lot of his publishing at the time. There was, Stan Lee was. I could see how there might be furniture moving in and out of there. And to Stan Lee, it was just another day. And to Jack Kirby, the freelancer, walking in, going, "What's going on around here?"
Because the comics had a floor, and after the implosion, the comics had Stan's office, which was the size of a pantry.
So they're very well. Like, do you remember them moving furniture out of the bullpen, Chris? They did all the time. Not out of the bullpen. They actually moved it out of the offices into the bullpen.
I remember delivering a couch to one of the VP's house with John and Dan and I think
exactly. Imagine and I wouldn't have even remembered this probably if a freelancer. What I remember is I don't even remember who the freelancer was because it happened a few times. The look on their face when they saw furniture piled up, and they're of course frightened because this might be their job going away. And to me, it was just normal.
Yeah.
Never gave it a single thought. It was just like, oh, there they are, moving more furniture in and out again. Matter of fact, at one point we set up all the furniture so we could have a place to have lunch. All that furniture was stacked all on top of each other, all these couches, and we took it all down and set. Do you remember that?
Do I remember that?
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
Like, we actually set up that furniture. It wasn't like that they had it piled up there. So
Ready to
SBPT
reveal.
saying that you secretly did one of the Batman Deadpool covers.
Nope. Unfortunately, no. For Chris.
I wish.
But you would have if they had paid you.
Yeah, if they asked me, you know.
100%.
Yep. It's like we mentioned
now that I know there's
before.
20, I'm a little bit insulted that I wasn't asked.
The Goblin says, I like in Kirby's take on things. Stan is always in tears and crying about shutting down things all the time.
Well,
no, we've reconstructed the timeline of events, and Kirby gets fired from DC. Manili dies, and Kirby goes to the office to try to get a job at Marvel. That probably happened on the same day that Stan got the news that Joe Manili had died.
yeah. Like
That
I can
makes
see
so much more sense.
right.
than-
I can see all that. I can see both of their stories being 100% true. And Stan saying furniture move. We weren't moving anything because he wouldn't like it. I didn't notice it at Marvel. When I was
Yeah.
Donald Rick said at a 1988 Houston convention, he had the privilege of taking Severin and his wife Andres Keith out for a nice dinner. They had some great stories to tell as the wine flowed.
Well, write some of those stories down for us.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, Donald, we got to set it up for you to come on the stream one of these days.
Yeah,
You can tell some of those stories. SVPT, while we're at it, I have right here a copy of Tales from the Con from 2014.
by Mr. Chris. Tales from the Con. I remember that one. I bought that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got it in my Chris Geruso section.
Yeah. That's where it goes.
Do you have anything in the pipeline, Chris?
No. Well, I have just these. Just these trading cards. Got legendary linebacker Ray Lewis.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
What set are they for?
Robin's Card Shop.
Dwight Gooden, Robin's Card Shop.
Trying to show you the logo, but it's
It's not focusing.
Yeah.
So are these like custom for a card shop?
These are an unlicensed deck of cards that we're doing. There's Dwight Gooden.
No MLB logos involved.
That's right. That's right. Why would the MLB be involved with Jose Canseco?
Nice.
And there's 5 more already printed, or maybe 6 more. And we're going to debut the Derek Jeter Greensboro card at Greensboro Comic-Con this weekend. Here's the original of that. And it's based on 1993 Fleer Greensboro Hornets card when Jeter was in minor league ball. He played in Greensboro for a season. So
That also.
I patterned this after a very specific Jeter. I tried my best to make it look like Jeter. And then my business partner said, well, you know, like, because I was trying to draw him like what Derek Jeter looks like, which is still a struggle.
Yep.
But he's like, no, just try to recreate the original card. But the original card, he's like 19.
Yeah.
And 19-year-old Derek Jeter does not look like Derek Jeter.
Right.
But he also doesn't look like this at all. But I think what I have been able to do is draw Adam Scott.
Adam Scott playing baseball.
Adam Scott from Severance. So for all you Severance fans,
or Parks and Recreation,
Get this card.
Come to Greensboro Comic-Con tomorrow and
get your Adam Scott minor league
baseball
baseball card.
That's all I'm working on. We got more of those. We're going to try to do like a deck of 52 cards. Ray Lewis, founding the Power 52 Foundation, is already going to be card number 52.
Okay.
So we're going for 52 in the deck. I don't know who else is going in immediately. I know there's going to be some soccer players going to show up.
Are you doing them all, or are other people doing them?
It's just me.
Just you.
It's me, my buddy Brett, and his son Robin of Robin's Card Shop.
Okay.
And so it's basically Robin's favorite players and whoever Brett realizes we can get signatures from quite easily.
Any NASCAR drivers there?
Huh?
Any NASCAR drivers there?
Maybe.
Well, they're probably busy because the NASCAR races every week.
Yeah. Well, I think Brett tends to go to like sports card shows. I don't know if NASCAR is involved.
They must go to some.
NASCAR tried doing sports cards a few years ago, and nobody cared.
And so I'd imagine there's fewer of those guys showing up at trading card events than basketball, football, and baseball guys.
You can buy replicas of some of their racing suits.
My sister occasionally buys NASCAR collectibles, maybe the 164 scale cars or whatever, and they always take like 6 months to get here. They're always like, here we go, this collectible, you know, and then it's like, it's not being made for 4 more months. And you're like, oh, come on.
Geez, you'd think race cars would be faster than that.
Ooh, that was a funny one.
No, it wasn't. Come on.
Let's see, another comic I got this week is Psychodrama Illustrated, number 9. Beto Hernandez. And this is like the all-naked issue.
What?
Because there's a lot of explaining going on. It's like they catch you up on everything. This is the same. This may as well be an issue of Love and Rockets. His same Palomar story with Fritz. And this one is Fritz's daughter. What's her name again? But the main theme of this issue, look at that guy in there with his giant breasts, is that there was something invented called the stimulant, which people are using now. Because usually this is about Fritz and her daughters, who one of their traits is they all have giant boobs. But now they have even bigger ones because this stimulant makes your boobs even bigger. So like everyone's taking it, all these so this whole issue is just filled with comically oversized boobs. And I always say that the way Gilbert Hernandez writes stories is he just creates a whole bunch of characters and has them bump off one another. I mean, just bump into one another. They just kind of interact. And this issue gives you sort of a recap of everybody's kind of all these different characters and their relationships. So it was a fun issue. And if you're a first-time reader, this isn't a bad issue to pick up and read. I think Psychodrama Illustrator is just like overflow stuff where Love and Rockets doesn't come out often enough for Beto, so he's got other stuff. He's a lot faster than Jaime Hernandez. And I also noticed in this one, I think I showed it to you like a couple of years ago. I got this one, it's a small comic by Beto. I forget what the name of it is, but the entire thing is Adam and Eve and a bunch of early, biblical characters all having sex. And it was just kind of like, it was like this deadpan story of what happened in the beginning of the Bible, except they show us all the sex. And they reference that in here as an art movie that Fritz did, except her daughter thought it was porn and not art. And I was like, oh, that's just, I didn't realize, because he often, like in the story, Fritz is like a famous B movie actress who does these softcore movies sometimes. And he often does graphic novels of these movies, but he doesn't always tell you that's what they are. So when he did that, and I really like that weird one. Like I said, I can't remember the name of it. That Adam and Eve filled with sex story. That was I never realized that was supposed to be one of her movies until reading this very issue. Now it makes more sense.
So another book that I picked up this week and read on the train home is G.I. Joe issue number 11. Nice cover there with blood versus the Baroness. The story that takes place in Paris, and for some reason, since I don't read the previous issues, the Baroness has teamed up with CoverGirl, and they're trying to protect the Baroness' parents, who Major Blood wants to kill, because at some point in time, the Baroness is the one who basically took his eyeball in a previous issue. So this is basically new stories that are part of this new universe with the characters that we know from Cobra and G.I. Joe, with the Transformers in it as well. The funny thing is like there are two major stories that you're following. So you're following the Baroness's story, as well as one of the Joes named Clutch, who has been driving around in a Jeep, and turns out that the Jeep is Hound from the Transformers.
Yeah.
Special guest appearance.
Pretty much. So he's been riding around having Hound helping him, but they're keeping that a secret from Duke and the rest of the Joes. So it's basically two Joe missions going on. They're not official missions. It seems like that they ran into Cobra agents while they were out and about, so to speak. I won't show that panel because that's a surprise, so I don't want to ruin that for people. Let's see. And again, it's kind of a fun thing that they're coming back to the base. The Baroness is now a Joe. And so that's great artwork, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Here's a question I have about the cover, and I saw it on your TikTok.
Yes.
Is the blood on her face? It's like, why? Because according to the storytelling on this cover, as I would think of it, he's obviously trying to stab her in the face, if not the eye, because you just said that she took his eye.
Yes.
The blood on the cover makes it look like he already tried to do this once, and then she fought him off. So it makes me feel she's in less danger seeing that blood there.
Okay.
I just wondered if any of you saw that at all. I don't know. I don't know why that thought came into my head when I was looking at it on your TikTok, but I was like, I think I would like that cover without because I think they put the blood on there to make it feel like she was in more danger.
Maybe because
if you're in a knife fight, even if somebody draws first blood, it doesn't mean that the fight is over. So you're always in danger. It's a knife fight. It's close proximity.
Right, because because this cover might have been done after they know what's going on in the fight, because he does draw blood from her. So she's always in the danger in the fight itself. but they did keep. There is no blood on the knife.
Right. There's blood.
So,
That
yeah.
I just find that just makes me feel somehow like she's in less danger. Ah, she fought him off once already.
Right.
And it's weird, there's no.
No, I
It's weird that
understand what you mean. Now that you
Yeah.
mention it, I could see it, but I didn't when I looked at it. So for me, it was like it was fine.
That thought came into my head when I was looking at your TikTok. And as we all know from watching Spartacus, there are 3 hits a gladiator takes. The one, he's dead immediately. The one, he'd be dead really slowly if he doesn't win the fight. And the other one, the man's already dead, but he can still kill you. Those are the three times. I just remember the gladiator trainer in Spartacus teaching that with the hand mop full of blood that he'd hit you with.
Eric Pace here.
Hey, Eric.
He has a different cover to that G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
Ted Collins says, does real-time political events and people show up in any G.I. Joe? Like, did Ronald Reagan ever show up to have pork chop sandwiches with Cobra or anything?
Not in this issue, and I have not seen real-life characters. I've only read a couple of them, so I have not read enough to know what the political climate is. I do know that the Joes were being put together, and there is a search for Energon is one of those things that how the Transformers are brought in, and the Transformers are feared. They're just called robots by both the Joes and Cobra, and I think there's more dislikes of the Transformers on the Cobra side of all things. So from the little that I read, the Transformers themselves are trying to hide.
Eric P. says, the only time that real-life politics have shown up was when Larry Hama had an assault on the U.S. Capitol around the time of January 6th. But that book had been written months before.
Huh.
Right.
What issue of G.I. Joe is that?
This is issue number 11.
I just like to say you can tell Wilson's an old school comic reader when he probably hasn't even read the few issues before that, but he's still reading issue 11 on the train ride home if he's got the time.
Yes. It also helps that these books, I can easily read them on the train without having to have my reading glasses on. That's why I've been enjoying the Skybound books.
I don't know why you'd ever go out without your reading glasses.
Yes, there's some days that I gone out. Today I went out and it's like I didn't bring my earphones with me. I usually like to listen to an audiobook on my way.
I bring my reading glasses everywhere.
Yes.
I commute. Well, I'm reading on the train all the time, so. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, I can't read this until I get issue 1, 2, and 3." I was like, "No, you can."
I've done that too many times where it's like, "Oh, no, you know what?" As you mentioned, when I first started reading G.I. Joe, it wasn't issue. Well, actually, G.I. Joe might have been issue number 1, but most of the comics, usually you just like in 130 something.
Yeah.
You know, with Spider-Man, I was at least, I would probably say somewhere in the 200
157
254 or 255 is where I started on Amazing, and then I went back and I read it. It was totally fine, and I kept going from there. And I was able to go back a few issues, and it's like I enjoy this. Let me keep going, and then the only book that I could probably said I read from issue number 1 and up was probably Web of Spider-Man, because that started in the middle of me that popped up in the middle of me collecting. So it's like, oh, this is my number 1 issue of Spider-Man. Was Web of Spider-Man number 1, Charles Vest's cover.
I just gave one of my students this week the Essential Web of Spider-Man Volume 1.
Ah, okay.
The black and white edition. I found it. I'm like, I'm never going to read that. And she was like, Japanese Spider-Man? I'm like, let me see. And I found that one lying around. I'm like, here you go.
Was there any Canadian Joes back in the day? There were Russians in the Marvel comic. There was a Russian team.
That was the October Guard.
Yeah.
So that was the Russian-owned Joes.
Canadians.
I don't recall if there was a Canadian set.
Captain Finity says, my first American flag was number 6. I went back to Forbidden Planet next week and bought 1 to 5. That was cool if you could do that, but if you just had number 6, you just keep reading from number 6.
Yeah, that's basically how it is sometimes, where you just jump into a story, and the good writers would let you give you an indication what was going on, and then you just keep going.
This comic I got this week. This ends tonight, issue 3, which I think ends the series. And it's got some really crazy layouts, Jay Lee art, which I've enjoyed.
Ends tonight, ends tonight?
Whole series. What was that?
This ends tonight, ends tonight.
This ends tonight.
This ends tonight, ends tonight.
And tonight?
This ends tonight. That does end tonight, yes.
The series ends tonight. There's 3 issues. But if you were to ask me what this series was about, I'd have a hard time telling you. I don't know if all 3 issues were separate or it told one story. But it was about, there's one sister who's a ninja assassin in a ninja assassin family, and one sister who's innocent to it all and doesn't know. And the second sister is getting married, and all the first sister's ninja assassin friends are coming to the wedding, but bounty hunters all want to kill them. And I think each issue was different, but had the same exact plot. Or maybe it made one big story. I'm not sure. And I read all 3 issues. But it was just lots and lots of fighting. And I don't know if it was the same characters each issue or different characters each issue. And it's got 3 writers. Did one writer write an issue each? I don't know. But I did enjoy the Jay Lee art a lot.
I wonder if it was the viewpoint of each individual sister.
No, it doesn't even do that.
Wow.
It doesn't tell the same. And it ends completely ambiguously. There's the last page. That black page there. That's the last page after these 2 pages. There's a phone breaking, a snarl, a chic slice, and a thud. I don't know. Here's the page right before that. I don't know. There were some people fighting. Did the monsters get them, or did they get the monsters? I don't know. It's just like I enjoyed it, but I can't tell you what it was about.
Did you guys collect the Toy Biz X-Men when they had their Crazy Generation X Monster Guy figures?
I never did, so I don't know what they are.
The Generation X Monster Guy figures.
Does Chris have them amongst his many, many figures in the studio?
I have a few Generation X characters, but those were more bought recently since I've been picking up, used loose action figures for my Marvel Toy Biz collection. But I know that they would, every few seasons in the toys, they would start merging stuff together and making monsters out of regular characters. I just don't remember. They did some of the mutant ones where they brought in Dark Beast into that, but I am not too sure if there's a specific type you're talking about.
Do you know what the Gen X Monster Guy figures are, Chris? Does that ring a bell with you?
I do not know what those are.
From Toy Biz?
I do not have them.
They were from the era of 3 for $10 KB toys. Unfortunately, eventually all the Marvel toys ended up in KB for 3. And not unfortunately, because I bought many of them.
Yeah.
because they were 3 for 10, 3 for 5 even.
When I used to buy toys on a whim, that's what I would get.
Yeah.
Like I remember the Swamp Thing figures all hit the clearance bin at KB, and I bought a few of them.
Yeah, the Kenner ones. They were nice. They had different types of stuff. There was a fall apart Swamp Thing that basically you pulled the string and it brought it all together. Glow in the dark was a big thing, and they would have different color Swamp Things for, again, for
different
variation.
plants.
Yeah.
Lilac Swamp Thing. I don't think they really had that one, but it would have been cool.
But I understand what you mean. Yeah. So they had a bunch of them like that. But I don't think I had any of the monster ones, because I know Spider-Man had mutation monster type thing towards the end of that Toy Biz run. But they did do a regular Generation X team. They didn't do the whole team, but they had the White Queen, Banshee, Jubilee, Penance, Skin, Chamber. I don't think they did Monet. And I don't think they did I don't think they did Mondo, that I could recall off the top of my head. But some of them they did do most of the team. And there was at least 3 villains, if I remember correctly, that was part of the Gen X line.
Captain Finity's trying to start some chain trouble here. I need to go through my Howard Chaykin collection. We'll see how he renders chains. I would imagine he does it in a graphic design manner. He's got a lot of graphic
design. His stuff is very graphic design, very Americana poster designs.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, another comic I got this week. The latest issue of Exquisite Corpses, which is about all the assassins fighting each other. It's okay. You know what? I'm enjoying this, but it's a B to me. I see like this is one of the better selling indie books, and I see a lot of people on TikTok really liking it. And I just it disappoints me that I like it less than them. I don't know why. I am enjoying it. To me, it's like, an action movie book. Who is this? James Tynion. Oh, it is written by Jordi Belair, the colorist, with James Tynion. Art by Claire Rose with Michael Walsh. Colors by Jordi Belair, and letters by Becca Carey. I mean, it's solid. I just wish I liked it as much as everybody else does. I feel like I'm missing out. Even though I'm reading it and enjoying it, I feel like I'm missing out. How weird is that? Have you ever read a book like that? Where you're reading it, enjoying it, but everybody else loves it more, and you're kind of like, I wish I loved this more. I wish I was as excited as everyone else.
It kind of feels like every book.
Yeah, that's Chris in comics right now. Every book. Ooh, that's rough.
No, that's not true. I take it back.
Does anyone remember Jesse Santos' 70s gold key artwork? I picked up a Dr. Spectre, and the art is wonderful.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Matter of fact, I've got something by young Jesse Santos, no relation, who is, I think I showed them when I was at Mocha Fest, both this year and last. And in 2024 at Mocha Fest, I ran into Michael Kreger, who we used to work with in the Marvel Bullpen, and he's been teaching at the Joe Kubert School for many years. And one of his students is named Jesse Santos. So I met Jesse, and he was showing me some, and I immediately went, Jesse Santos. He's like, not that one. No relation. But yeah, there were some good cover. There was always good painted covers on that Dell and Gold Key stuff. I don't remember which one. But didn't like Korak have painted covers, and what's his name? The Kung Fu robot guy.
Magnus
Didn't he have painted
Fighter.
covers?
I really like those. Magnus
had good interior art.
Yeah,
yes.
Russ Manning.
Yes.
Now, Brothers of the Spear. That thing, I've looked inside. That thing's boring.
I have not seen many Charlton comics in a long time. Probably because I don't go digging through back issue bins. That could have it too. I haven't seen many Charlton comics in a while, and I only ever had a few in my collection. I bought them in the. I don't know if it was a Charlton revival in the early '80s or a last gasp. But in like the very early '80s, there's some Charlton comics started hitting the newsstands again, and I bought those.
I think Bill Black tried doing news stories with Blue Beetle because he claimed Blue Beetle was in the public domain.
Now this was Charlton itself, like Charlton Bullseye.
Yeah, the Charlton
It was almost
Bullseye.
like a fanzine, but I found it very cool.
Yeah, and those had some news stories. Yeah,
right. I still have them somewhere. I'm going to drag them out and look at them someday, because I really did enjoy Charlton Bullseye because that was out before my comic shop was open. So it was like the only really sort of non-mainstream stuff I could get. You could tell it wasn't Marvel or DC. And I was familiar with lots of, Charlton crappy back issue comics, but this was new and was pretty cool. George Wilson painted covers. Okay. Donald Rex is really getting into his Charltons these days. Which I believe in this one they called Charleston Comics because they used sort of fake names for everything in this, since it's not supposed to be reality. I'm gonna have to track down some more of that artist's work.
Yeah, actually, let me check.
They said he did. I'll pull it out again. What did they say he did? Brazil, artist and writer, born in 1993 in Guarulhos, state of Sao Paulo.
Guarulhos.
Wow, I missed that one totally. A fan of comics, Lord of the Rings, and Japanese culture and mythology, he has dreamed of creating and bringing his characters and stories to life since he was a child. His first comic was released in 2016 in a collection paying tribute to H.P. Lovecraft. In the following years, he released the Tengu, Tengu, trilogy, a comic that reinterprets Japanese myths in a silent comic book. Since 2019, he has been working on his new comedy comic book entitled Axis, AXXIS, and collaborating on other stories for the United States and Portugal.
He does have an Instagram. So his So there's his Instagram. Interesting art stuff.
It took a lot of folding to get that 1117 bag. Right?
next book that I picked up, I have not read, is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 12 or Legacy number 976.
Getting close to 1,000.
Yep. And as per my usual, I have no idea what's going on in here. I have not read this one. I had run out of time on the train, got home, and started doing other stuff. But pretty artwork.
Yeah. Who's drawn that?
So this one, let's see, who do we have? Written by Joe Kelly. It is penciled by Ed McGuinness. Haven't seen his name in a while. Inked by Ed McGuinness and Cliff Rathburn.
Him I know from Invincible.
Marco Menes and Erica Argnegla is the colorist, and lettered by Joe Carmanga, if I'm saying that correctly. I think I'm not.
Caramagna.
I always say that wrong. Then cover artist Ed McGuinness. So yeah, so I have not seen Ed on stuff in a while.
Chris just sounded like he was in your apartment in the other room.
You just sounded like you were in his apartment in the other room.
Oh, okay, Julio.
So some cool stuff. Reading it this weekend. And it looks like they're pressing a record for the Fantastic Four album.
Oh, look at that.
They're really going into the vintage stuff for this. Pretty cool.
Cool stuff.
Yep.
I did get one more Walking Dead back issue this week, too. Where is it? It's issue 15. And this one was a more expensive one. I think, I can't remember what, sometimes they're like low print run. And this one cost me altogether with shipping $32. Not bad for an early issue. But I think this one, is it real? I'm going to have to check my estimates. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let's see, issue 15. Yeah, my estimates for 14 was $15. My estimate for 16 and 17 were $15. So this one, in my estimate for this was $30, which is about what I got. That's without tax and shipping. So for some reason, this one is more expensive than the issues around it. Can't remember why, though. May have been the death of Shane or something like that. Or the first appearance of someone. Not Michonne. That one was worth a lot more money. First appearance of Michonne. But yeah, I'm almost done with my rebuying those Walking Deads that I sold.
Done.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 issues left. 6, 7, 10, and 14.
Are those keys?
No, those aren't keys. I actually got the keys out of the way early, which are the first Governor, first Michonne, and issue number 3, which was the earliest one I was buying. Those were the 3 most expensive ones.
In the comic Zen way, aren't we all in Wilson's presence in the other room?
We're all just in the other room from Wilson, shouting into him.
Yeah, shouting from the other room. It's like being back at Marvel.
Yeah. Wilson had his own room. He had to come out and hang out in the bullpen for a little action. Because that's where all the action was.
That's right.
Unless you wanted some quiet time in one of the editor's rooms.
Good place.
I just realized I've been gathering all those recommendations I had to get because you have to apply for the promotion at my school. And you need recommendations. And I ended up getting 6 recommendations. First, I thought it was 3. Then I was like, oh, I think it's 6. I realized, like, all my recommendations are from people I first worked with at Marvel. A lot of them I worked with afterwards at different places, but it was, who were my friend Ed, who I worked with at the school and worked with at Marvel. Wilson gave me a recommendation. Marie Javins gave me a recommendation. Leah Pelosi, now Brown, gave me a recommendation. And Randy Gentile gave me a recommendation. So I was like, and Randy I worked with at the school too. So I was like all my recommendations are from the 90s.
Monsters and Dames.
What was that?
You remember Monsters and Dames, Emerald City art book?
Monsters and Dames. Chris recommended me for. I could have got a written. These are all written recommend. Oh, and Carl Bowlers. I forgot that one. I had a written recommendation from Carl.
I wrote an email.
Yes, I'm just talking right now. The written recommendations I'm getting. Yes, I have gotten recommendations.
Emails are written.
Yeah. Okay. You did write a recommendation for me. That is true. Which I did it for those 2 years. Then I never heard back from them.
I think they stopped doing it.
Yeah, I figured that. I figured they stopped doing it, or the guy I was doing it with got another job. That happens too.
I think it was both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 and 23, I think I did. I have the books up on my shelf. I just ran into them. But because I've been searching my shelves for books to give my students, cleaning up just because I have so much stuff everywhere. It's like I gave away this week. I gave away one of those little Far Side books. I think it was like something like Crash Test Dummies or something. I forget the name of it. Those ones that are like 6 inches across by 4 inches high.
Right.
I gave away one of those. I gave away 2 Linda Barry books. Do you know who Linda Barry is?
That name is so familiar.
She and Matt Groening used to have the 2 big comics in the Village Voice every week. Hers was like Ernie Pook's comic or something like that. It was Marley's was her character. She did this really sort of crudely drawn comic about this little girl and her friends. I loved it. One of my favorites. But I kind of got a big book of her stuff now. So I gave away these little books too. I gave away my Simpsons. I had I had 3, if not, I had 4 like episode guides to the Simpsons. Like from the early 2000s or late 90s. Nice books. But like one for like issues 1 through 6. One for issues like, seasons 1 through 5. Seasons 6 through 10. And then seasons 11 and 12. I don't know if they made them after that. And they're just really well done books that give you episode recaps and all sorts of background information and lots of cool drawings. But I haven't looked at them in 20 years.
Right.
So I'm like, time to pass these on. If I'm going to buy 10 comics a week, I got to get rid of some of this stuff. No doubt.
Definitely makes sense. Yep.
Gave away that Web of Spider-Man Essentials. I started digging through some of Jerry's boxes to give away some stuff. Gave away a few issues of Spawn to that one guy who likes Spawn. I'll bring him like 6 issues a week of the stuff I've been buying for the last 4 or 5 years.
And the spin-offs too.
What was that?
And the spin-offs too.
And the spin-offs too.
see if he likes Gunslinger Spawn.
Right. I've only bought the first issue of those, but I can get rid of them. Because I was like, what do you like? And he's like, I'm like, because he's the guy, this is my 3rd semester bringing him stuff every week. And he was finally, after going, okay, he's like, I'll take anything you got. He's finally like, okay, you can slow down. Give stuff to the other students. I'm so behind in my reading. I'm like, okay, I'll slow down. I'm like, unless there's something you really want. He's like, I'm really into Spawn. He's like, I'm into Spawn. He's like, I really liking stories of heaven and hell. I'm like, all right, that's the only thing I'll bring you. A few issues a week. Because I got Spawns to give away. I don't even keep them out in my current box. Like when I get enough, like my collection is mostly on shelves, and I have one part of the shelf where it's all my current stuff. And if a series ends, I move it into the end stuff, which means things fill up. So what I did last semester is I pulled stuff out of the done files that I was never going to read again. Like Napalm Lullaby, I gave away a couple weeks ago. That just ended, but I'm like, I'm never reading this again. I gave that away to, matter of fact, the same guy. So it's like I got to keep. So like Spawn, I was like, I have like I had like 40 or 50 issues of Spawn in a row now, and I'm like, I can't have that much space taken up. So I found like a box that had a little room in them and put the Spawns in there. And I always say, if I got these comics tucked away in a box, I may as well not have them. So here you go. All of Wilson's comics are tucked away in a box.
Oh no, they're all like, some of them are in boxes, some of them are still in the comic bag that I bought
10 years ago.
yeah. I mean, we did a whole a whole summer where I was just finding the bags and opening up. And this is what I got at Midtown at this point in time. I have been getting some boxes and been putting stuff away into the boxes. Not any real order yet.
You picked up a bag and it said Mondale 84.
Let's see. The last book that I picked up, I got 2 copies of, which is Blue Falcon and Dynamite from Dynamite Entertainment. So because it was an issue number 1, so I figured why not? It's written by Jimmy Palmiotti, and the cover I picked is the it's the one by Amanda Conner. I believe yes, it's the Amanda Conner cover.
You said that in your TikTok, so I knew.
Yes. So here we go. This is what the first issue looks like, and the artwork is pretty nice.
I wonder if Paul Mounts colored that. I didn't see his signature.
It was an origin story. I don't know if there is a signature on here.
Amanda Conner's signature. I remember on your TikTok I saw it there.
It's red on black. So maybe.
But I didn't see Paul Mounts' signature, who usually colors her stuff.
First page that has the credits does not say who did the covers. And let's see. Yeah, even in the interior, it just gives Amanda credit. But there is a signature on the bottom there, and let's get the reading glasses out.
Yeah,
and they are not in the place that I thought they were. So not going to be able to do that for this.
See, I have reading glasses on me like my entire, except for my bike ride. It's like my entire day. I have reading glasses on the top of my head. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Connor. Yeah, there's no Paul Mounts under. I wonder if she colored that, or somebody at IDW did.
Maybe. Yeah, I am not too sure. Once I find my glasses, I'll do a posting on it. But it's the interior artwork is nice, and it's a pretty much an origin story for Blue Falcon. I do not know if this connects with any of the other series, because I don't know if they're doing it as a combined universe with the other superheroes from the Hanna-Barbera books.
No. Space Ghost is in space. and the Herculoids are in. Whoops.
Are also in
They're-
space somewhere.
Yeah.
else.
So
Here's an ad for the Herculoids.
the Herculoids are spending an awful amount of time getting into the innermost thoughts of the beasts.
Oh, okay.
There is a subplot, but it's slow in developing, and Space Ghost has a lot more action per issue.
Okay. So yeah, so picked it up. I do like these characters. I do like these superheroes. I usually always pick up the first issue, and unfortunately, a lot of times these start well, but doesn't necessarily go anywhere. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with this. And then I also got the same book, blank cover, so I can draw something on
You're
it.
just inspired to draw something on it.
Well, I'm inspired to buy it
Yeah.
and I hope to draw on it. Whether or not I draw on it,
I'm saying you don't
No.
usually buy a blank one. So Blue Falcon and Dynamite inspired you to at least buy it, to think about drawing on
very much so. So there may be some art coming from me soon.
And I just wanted to show you. Let's see here, because we were talking about it before. This is my CGC box.
Oh, okay.
It's blank.
Canvas.
It's got Velcro here that the
Can you
top, whoops, lifts off.
Can you sit on it?
Nope, you cannot sit on it. And it
No, can I sit on it? Can I sit on it, or will you not? Will you not allow me to sit on it?
I don't think
those are two different things.
I don't even think you can stack them. I'm not 100% sure. It's like cardboard inside this black vinyl, and it's made to fold up. If it was all the way full, you might be able to sit on it or stack on it. And it's got these vinyl handles on the side.
That seems like a good idea in theory, but I don't think that's
in practice, it's a little awkward.
Yeah, because I could see once that is full, I don't think those handles are going to hold.
Yeah, I just worried as I picked it up right then. I went, oh, are these handles going to hold? So I don't know. They're riveted on, but that doesn't mean they won't tear out.
Right, the rivets will stay together with each other.
The vinyl's fairly thin.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't like to move this one too much. But that's my CGC box. Which is pretty heavy at the moment because I think I got a bunch of regular comics in it too. I just noticed as I opened it up. I was like, oh, what are those? What did I put in there?
But I know I've seen like regular, the traditional white comic book boxes made for slab books. I mean, I get most of my stuff from Bags Unlimited. The commercial, non-commercial part of the show, I get it from Bags Unlimited, and I like their stuff. So they do so many different sizes of stuff.
Yeah, that one, I kind of just wanted to try it. It wasn't particularly expensive, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'd buy one again.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks like a good idea because I like the how it's a module, it can fit together. But once you put it together, unfortunately, it's still too flimsy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I just noticed I did have one divider in there, so 2 out of the 3 were magazine sized.
Yeah, storage boxes have come a long way. My first ones were milk crates. My very first one was a shoebox. So I would keep my comics in a shoebox, and then as the collection grew bigger and bigger, then it was like regular cardboard boxes. Then milk crates was a good place to store them because they had the handles and stuff like that. And then discovering boxes, it's like, oh, but I think it was probably a good 4 or 5 years before I even knew the boxes existed.
Oh, I can remember when I was a little kid and I had maybe that many comics. I kept them in a hamper. Like we had this like rectangular vertical hamper that I'd just like drop all my comics in, and that's where I kept them. And then my father, when I must have been like 10 or so, my father taught me how to build shelves. So we built some shelves in my bedroom, and that's where all my comics were for years and years and years. And to this day, I build shelves everywhere. That's what I like, shelves.
Did Galen wants to know how much are art portfolio binders?
You mean like
the iotas?
Where is one? Here's one. Hey, look!
Nice.
It's Dolphin.
Dolphin and Aqua Dolphin.
By the one and only Tit Goblin. Art binders like this, except 11 by 17. I've bought a ton of these in the last few years. Original, 11 by 17. They're like $24 for 3 of them. You know, if you buy them in 3 packs, I think they're somewhere between $20 and $30 for a 3-pack. I just happened to buy a lot of them in the last few years to put up to organize a bunch of my art, because I just had stuff stacked up in piles. And I was like, I can't even look through this stuff because the piles are so big. I need to put them in something. And so I got a bunch of those art portfolios.
Yeah, I tend to, you find them fairly easy. You find them pretty easily all over the place.
You get them on Amazon and eBay.
Dick Blick, you could get them.
Yeah, you can get them
and they come in so many sizes, because I have a group that I use for like 8.5 by 11 sketches that I get at cons.
Right.
And then to the full size comic art size as well.
Blick may even make their own house brand.
It's possible.
I'm not sure. I have a vague memory of that, but
those are ones. But you can find them just about everywhere.
They're not hard to find.
Yeah, I bought them at Staples, Michaels, Dick Blick.
When the joke dies.
Nice.
Let's see. Another comic I got is the first issue of Creepshow Volume 4. This series continues to have some good covers and some pretty good stories. Who's in this one? 2 stories. There's usually 2 10 or 11 page stories. I'm not sure. Jeremy Adams, writer. Edward Riso, artist. He's the guy from 100 Bullets. Mike Spicer, colorist, and Pat Broseau, our letterer. Pat letters both issues, former Marvel bullpenner. Then Rosie Knight, writer, and Olivia Ono is the artist in the second story. Here's the Eduardo Rizzo story. The second story made a little less sense to me. I'm going to read it over to try to figure it out. There's a weird end to it that I didn't quite understand. But both of them had a lot to do with eyes. You got to pay attention to the eyes of the characters. But it's back for another series. I think these are usually 5 issues and a Christmas special. So we'll see some more of that in the next few months.
All right. In the meantime, do you have any read report slabs ready to go?
Sure. Let's see one. Let me open one up. Do you have a year you want?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I will. Let's see what we got. Let's go for something old. 1951 sci-fi. Looks like that one's labeled.
Ah.
Let me share my screen. Window. 1951 sci-fi. We got Rocket to the Moon #1, Joe Orlando, Strange Adventures #12, Gil Kane, and Rocket Ship X #1, Jack Abel ?
All right.
Meaning someone's guessing it's Jack Abel. Ah, if only Jack were still here with us.
Mm-hmm.
We used to work with him at Marvel in the bullpen.
Rocket to the Moon and Strange Adventures is almost the same cover. It's just they started shooting and then they jumped on the beast. And then they ended up at Rocket Ship X.
Yeah, there's a lot of grabbing of women in this.
They would all
triptych.
have to be replaced by dolphins.
And Scott Connor wouldn't like all the yellow on these covers.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm going to read Rocket Moon and Slab Strange Adventures and Rip Rocket Ship X.
You don't like that leering guy grabbing that young lady's boob?
That cover's not as good as the other ones. So I guess I understand why Jack Abel spent most of his time inking.
I think Strange Adventures is the best cover on there visually, so that's the one I think I'm going to slab. Although I do like the red on that Rocket Ship X.
Yeah.
And now that I think about it, I think I'm going to slab Rocket Ship X and read Strange Adventures. And unfortunately, that means I'm going to rip Rocket to the Moon. But I'm going to rip it so I could separate the hero and the aliens straight down
save
there.
them.
Yep, save them that way. And I think I'm going to replace the dolphin. What I'm going to use is the on Rocket Ship X. There's a guy in the sky. I think that's going to be the dolphin.
Ah.
Going to be flying there, coming down. And I think I would like to put the flamingos also on the back of the creature from Strange Adventures. So they are all
they're all
getting
riding
away. They're all riding away on that.
I'm going to dolphin the flying guy in Rocket Ship X. And the flamingos are going on the dinosaur's head. One on each side of the horn.
I think I'm going to read Rocket Ship X. And I'm going to slab Rocket to the Moon because I like that cover best, which means I don't have to rip Strange Adventures, that nice Gil Kane cover. But there's plenty more Gil Kane covers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to dolphin the woman on the cover of Rocket Ship X. So that guy's leering at a dolphin and grabbing for the dolphin's boob. And I'm going to put the flamingos on top of the head of that dinosaur they're riding on Strange Adventures. So rather than have the flamingos riding with them, he's going to ride on the head. A little twist on Wilson's.
Yeah, Ted Galvin says he's going to read Rocket Moon, reap Strange Adventures, and slab Rocket Ship X. But he does like all of them.
Yeah, they're all
nice
good.
Covers. Yeah, they're all pretty good.
Which is what you want. You want them all to you want to make these choices difficult. That's the whole game.
Eric P is going to read Rocket Ship and rip Strange Adventures and slab Rocket to the Moon.
Same as me.
Flamingo's watching from the plant on the front of Strange Adventures.
Ah.
And Dolphin, the yellow rocket on Rocket Ship X.
I was thinking of Dolphin and that rocket too, but then I went with the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to put the Dolphin in a bikini too.
I was really expecting more giant green bugman from space in this day and age, from all the hype back in the day. Yeah, no bugman from space. No going into space with barely any clothes on. Not even the rockets don't really look like rockets. And that guy has to ride a dinosaur.
Now,
I know it sounds cool, but it isn't.
How long had these guys been drawing in 1951?
51. Joe Orlando Gil Kane started really young, around 1942 or 43.
Oh, so he'd been there for 10 years already.
Yeah, but he started when I was like 14 or 15.
Right.
I don't know Joe Orlando.
But was he pre-war or post-war, do you think?
Post-war.
Yeah, I thought so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Jack Abel is maybe getting into the industry at this stage.
Jack Abel was probably brand new then.
51, yeah.
Listening to Joe Stafford as he did his work. That was Jack Abel's favorite singer. I know that because in the 90s, when I used to sit next to Jack, I was getting into Joe Stafford too. Completely coincidental. I just happened to hear her singing on what is it? Spinning on Air. That was I used to listen to old time radio stuff on NPR. And she was the one who jumped out at me.
Eric P says someone needs to do a book where the women from all three covers join forces and explore space.
There we go.
Looking for Bugman to mate with.
Wow, and they're all in like red bikinis.
Yeah, reddish type bikinis.
Mm-hmm. So you know they're bad girls.
No, that's what it was for adventure. Space adventure. She almost looks a little like Teela from He-Man, design-wise.
That was a good month for sci-fi comics. I wonder how much that Rocket to the Moon #1 would cost you right now, if you could find it.
Probably $15-20. I guess Night Tiger Comics would know.
Rocket to, because I imagine that one, to me, it seems that one would go for the most because of the cover.
Mm-hmm.
That one seems to have the most eye appeal. Real bad girls always wear high heels with their bikinis. This Captain Finn.
0.5 is $130.
Whoa.
A slab 3.0, $590. These are what's being asked for, not necessarily what they sold for. Let's see if I can find a sold one.
Not cheap.
Not cheap, and one has not been sold in a while because it's not
even
up.
in there, right?
There's
Eric P says Rocket to the Moon is $280 at my comic shop. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3,
you got one
4.
Oh, that's my comic shop. $280 for a good 2.5, says 62 Lefty Bullets.
Yeah,
look at that.
These are most of these are from my comic shop eBay page.
Ah, okay.
So $590 for 3.0. $325 loose. $590. So,
if the cover was in good shape, I would pay $280 for a good 2.5. Of course, I never will.
Right.
So, yeah, me just saying it sounds like
very poor condition one that's falling apart. Looks like it's chewed up 130.
Ah.
Star Wars Pulp People, my pet, Strange Adventures cover. That's the first appearance of Crazy Tauntaun in an odd way. It kind of looks a bit like it's John Carter from Mars.
Been reprinted.
John Carter's stories didn't.
I'll see if I can find a good scan to that rocket to the moon. No, make a print. Just for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll be able to find a good scan, but silent whisper tauntaun key.
Okay. And that was fun.
Let me show the last 3 comics I got real quick. Good as Dead, a new David Lapham one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, David Lapham was interviewed recently by the Dollar Bin Bennetts.
Ah, okay. I'll have to check that out. It's a good issue.
And the latest one is Scott Beatty.
Oh, okay. Invincible Universe Battle Beast number. What number are we up to? 5. This series is settling in nicely. I enjoyed this issue. And I like this issue of the Seasons. Number 8. This has really picked up the last few issues, so I'm enjoying that one. Good stuff. What? I showed all that stuff over there. Showed that stuff over there.
Okay.
Did you show all your books, Wilson?
Yes, I showed all the books that I picked up at the shop this week. Yep.
When's the last time you were at the shop, Chris?
Yesterday.
Did you get anything?
Yeah, I had like 3 issues of Transformers, G.I. Joe, Void Rivals waiting for me.
Oh, okay. It was a good day.
Yeah, and I picked up some bags and boards for con preparation.
Sounds cool.
Eric P says, I was thinking that I had seen that Rocket to the Moon used as the cover for a reprint somewhere. Can't find it.
There was a copy on Amazon, so it was reprinted. When I was doing a search for it, there was a couple of those reprints because it's a public domain book, so it's definitely getting reprinted.
It's like BS Art Books have reprinted Rocket to the Moon #1. Okay. I wish I had more time on that stupid dolphin painting. It's a bit to get it done amateur looking at in hindsight. Amateur looking in hindsight.
Imagine that if only he had more time to make his joke painting pretty.
Well, the open mouth on Aqua Dolphin is too open for a dolphin.
It's too gatorish. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah.
Aqua Dolphin wouldn't. Well, he got that dolphin nice. Nice bottlenose going on.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's wrap it up. Next week it's still me.
No, next week is me.
Okay.
Because the week after, I think I won't be here. October 3rd.
Okay.
I'll be doing a Hudson Valley portfolio review, and it turns out it's like from 4 to 8 or something like that, or 3 to 8. So I definitely, and it's an hour away, so I definitely won't be back in time. So next week will be me. Week after that'll be Paolo.
Cool. All right. Thank you all for stopping by. If you're in North Carolina, go see Chris.
What's the name of the con again?
The Greensboro Comic Con.
The Greensboro Comic Con.
Yep.
Very cool.
It's almost like day 1 of a 3-day con, but the second 2 days are 2 weeks later. Because 2 weeks later we have Big Lick Comic Con, Greensboro.
Ah. Are they unaffiliated?
They are unaffiliated, but apparently they get along.
All right. They
First,
look out
I wasn't
for each
sure.
other.
I wasn't sure if I was going to get in trouble doing both.
They
Get yelled at.
support each other.
But
gotta be careful with some of those cons. They like to sneak in contracts. You can't do a con within 15 miles of the previous con.
yeah.
I've seen those in some contracts popping up.
Yeah.
Not signing anything. All right. So we're ending the stream. Thank you all for coming.
To get to bed.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye.